This is a B-segment sedan with an on-road price of about $23,000. Today, let's take a look at the Toyota Camry 2.0 dual-engine sport version to see whether it's worth considering and what its pros and cons are. The car is 4,915 millimeters long with a wheelbase of 2,825 millimeters. In terms of power, it uses a self-charging hybrid system that doesn't require plugging in, combining a 2.0-liter naturally aspirated engine producing 152 horsepower with a single electric motor rated at 83 kilowatts for a combined system output of 197 horsepower. The 0 to 62 mile/hour acceleration time is about 9.3 seconds. Maybe because it gets criticized so heavily online, my expectations for its performance were pretty low going in, but after actually driving it today, it felt better than expected. Not impressive, but definitely not underpowered. It's not particularly strong, but it's also not sluggish. From 0 to around 75 miles per hour, as long as you press the accelerator, it responds. Although under hard acceleration, the engine noise does become noticeable. Thanks to the electric motor, even though it's not very powerful, the response is quick. The chassis tuning and steering feel are both on the more stable and solid side, so when changing lanes quickly or overtaking on highways, it still feels confident and controlled. Of course, most people buy this car for its fuel efficiency. Based on feedback from many owners, the average combined fuel consumption is around 4 to 5 liters per 100 kilometers. So its biggest advantage is this non-plug-in hybrid system that strikes a great balance between fuel economy and power, while also being simple and reliable. The downside is that aside from that, everything else it offers is quite basic. Space is basic, features are basic, and even the interior materials are quite basic. In terms of space, competitors like the Toyota Avalon, Volkswagen Passat, and Volkswagen Magotan all have wheelbases around 2.87 meters, while this Camry is only 2.82 meters. If you've sat in those cars before, the difference is immediately noticeable without even needing to measure. It just doesn't have that especially spacious feel. When it comes to features, it's even harder to compare, because with a $23,000 budget, you could choose many domestic models that offer far more features, or even find a well-maintained used luxury car. Now let's take a look at what this car actually comes with. The headlights are single-lens integrated LED units that support automatic headlights and automatic high beams. On the side, it uses 18-inch wheels paired with 235-width tires. Tire pressure monitoring is included as standard since it's a safety-related feature. The side mirrors have heating and power folding, but there's no blind spot monitoring. The front door handles support keyless entry, but there's no phone digital key. There's no 360-degree surround view, and surprisingly, there are no front or rear parking sensors either, only a basic rear view camera. The trunk is manually operated. The rear seat space isn't very large, but the trunk itself is quite spacious at over 50 liters, and the rear seats can fold down. Moving inside, the door panels and seats use synthetic leather. Both the driver and passenger seats have power adjustment, but there's no heating or ventilation. The steering wheel is wrapped in leather and feels quite refined, with multimedia controls on the left and basic driver assistance controls on the right. The instrument cluster isn't fully digital. It only has a 7-inch screen in the middle. The center display is about 10.25 inches, but it doesn't support internet connectivity, has no ecosystem apps, and doesn't even include built-in navigation, yet oddly shows the words Smart Cockpit when starting up. Apple users might feel slightly better though, since it does support wireless CarPlay. Overall, the low fuel consumption is the highlight, and the powertrain is quite advanced. But aside from that, the space and features are very basic and simple. There's no real performance to speak of, and it doesn't offer much in terms of emotional appeal. It's best suited for people who drive a lot every year, don't want to deal with new energy vehicles, and prefer something simple, practical, and reliable.